Welcome to another episode of Who's Listening? The Owl Next Door.
Today we're going down to Clewiston, Florida. And you gotta picture this place. It's deep, deep agricultural country.
Just flat land, right? Huge skies.
Huge skies and that really rich, dark soil. And at the center of it is Steve Paige. He's a generational farmer in his family's cattle business.
So he's facing this brutal reality. To save the farm, he has to convert his cattle pastures into sugarcane fields.
And normally that is it's a disaster. The Florida burrowing owls, they need that short pasture grass to survive.
Paul's sugarcane is basically a no-go zone for them. So this is, for all intents and purposes, an eviction notice.
Right, but that's not what's happening here.
Steve isn't evicting them, he's building them a permanent city, a whole development right alongside the crops.
We're planning to leave this separate just for the owls.
So this will be a forever owl preserve.
As long as I got it, I assume, yes.
And usually when we hear about this kind of land conversion pasture turning into intensive crop farming, it spells absolute disaster for the local residents.
I don't mean the people, I mean the Florida burrowing owl.
Precisely. These are ground-dwelling birds, so when you turn a pasture into a cane field, you are essentially, you're destroying the entire topography they need to survive.
And this isn't a tragedy we're covering today.
No.
It's a rescue mission.
Yeah.
And it's happening because Steve Paige, the farmer, decided to call in some backup.
And that backup is Project Perch.
We've got a really fascinating cast of characters today. We have Steve Paige, the landowner, facing all this economic pressure. We have Kelly Heffernan, the avian biologist and the founder of Project Perch. And we have Paul Kragh, who is the director of burrowing owl conservation.
Though I believe he goes by a different name when he's got his boots on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. From here on out, we are referring to him affectionately as Owlman Paul.
So we have the farmer, the biologist, and Owlman Paul.
And they didn't mess around. They got straight to work installing what's called the Flood Zone Artificial Burrow System, the FZABS. It sounds like a braking system on a high-end sports car.
And I have to say, looking at the schematics, this looks way more complex than just a hole. It almost looks like a plumbing diagram.
It basically is. I mean, this is legitimate engineering. It's designed to mimic nature.
Okay, so where does it start?
It starts with the entrance tunnel, a 6-inch PVC pipe.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the really clever part.
Yeah.
The bottom third of that pipe is sliced away along the entire length.
That seems risky for a tunnel structure. Why slice the bottom out?
Well, it does two very specific things. First, owls apparently hate walking on slippery plastic.
Oh, okay.
So removing the bottom exposes the dirt, and that gives them natural traction so they can actually run in and out.
That makes perfect sense.
And second, and this is the most important part, it's all about drainage.
Right.
If water gets in a full pipe, it turns into a water slide straight down to the nest.
And that must lead to the other big design feature you see here, the angle.
Exactly. You have to account for those intense Florida rains. The pipe is always installed angling upward toward the nest. Gravity is the primary safety mechanism here.
So what happens if you just laid the pipe flat?
It becomes a death trap. The water has nowhere to go. It just pools up and it floods the nest completely.
Wow.
But with that upward angle, gravity keeps the main chamber high and dry.
Speaking of the chamber, let's talk about that. This is where the owls actually live. The plans describe it as a heavy-duty plastic round valve box.
Yeah, have you ever seen those green plastic lids in a lawn or a sidewalk?
Yeah.
The ones that cover sprinkler controls?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a large industrial version of that.
So it really is like a little underground bunker.
It is. And they realize that the difference between a death trap and a safe haven, it isn't high-tech machinery. It's just simple geometry and gravity working together.
They target the high ground, which, in a sugar field might only be a difference of a few inches.
But in flood dynamics, those inches are everything.
The thing about the distance is if...
They don't care.
I know that, but what
They're
if
a little
we...
bit more flexible than the state rules are, so I'm trying to get 150 feet in between them.
Okay.
And we've got a little bit of room, so that's why I'm saying if you're okay with this first one, then we can adjust the other ones, and if not, we can stick with where I've got them and just adjust them, 10 feet either side, but we've got plenty of room.
You've got Steve, the farmer, literally in the trench with Owlman Paul.
So up here is real shallow, just like 5 inches deep, but we need that angle perfect down to the 16-inch round hole
Well,
there.
if it needs to be perfect, you're going to have to help me.
Well, we don't want the pipe pointing up in the air because there's a big lip here. So if we make this perfectly round and then we have a big lip, that pipe doesn't angle up even smooth.
Okay.
So the
All right.
concern is that you're getting like, you may be there.
Once you see one in the ground, Steve, you'll realize what he's talking about.
See the angle of this?
Yeah.
This is,
Is that
this
long
is
enough?
yeah, it's definitely long. The way we pull the sod, we put that in place and then we etch the sod around it so we have the perfect length.
Okay.
And then we move the pipe and the box out of the way, and then we just dig that round hole 16 inches deep. See the red mark here? If you get to the top of the red, that's pretty close.
Okay.
That's my cheat. I think you're there.
Yeah, trying to get that slope exactly right.
Exactly. And I love what Steve said about the farm. He was so humble about it. He basically told Paul, you know, if this pipe needs to be perfect, you'd better be the one to check it, because I'm just a farmer.
It just shows you where his priorities are. It's not about ego, it's about the owls. Our mission here is to trace how a really simple idea, basically just a pipe in the ground, failed and had to adapt to survive everything from, the water table to lawnmowers.
We're going to unpack the evolution of their artificial burrows today, and we're drawing from the work of avian biologist Kelly Heffernan.
Dr. Mealy's original design was just the pipe with the bottoms cut out. He was on a couple of commercial sites, so he also did an elbow and 2 runs, a bit of a long tunnel underneath with an entrance, so like a big L. So kind of just underground like that. And then he always described them as temporary, something to allow the owls not to lose their homes, to stay on the site temporarily, and then give them enough lay of the land they would figure it out. And then as we installed the pipes at schools and at different places where mowers were always running over them, we had a lot of collapses right behind the pipe. So I went through a year where we went through 3 collapses back to back, and that's when Dr. Mealy and Grant and we all said, let's add a nesting box, because other places were sinking these really big nesting boxes, but we didn't need a big nesting box. So that's where the box came along. Dr. Mealy always wanted their talons in the dirt. He said they don't cross some of those other pipes. So having the bottoms cut out and then opening up the other side, both Grant Campbell and Dr. Mealy felt keeping the owls digging level.
But just before it goes in the ground, Paul does something completely illogical. He stops everything and he hands Steve a marker.
He's signing right here. I need his autograph. You put your John Hancock on here, the owls are more likely to come to it if they know it's yours.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
People are not that way around me. They'd rather not be bothered with me.
I know you've taken care of these owls, so they'll be happy with you.
Well, we'll see. I hope
All
so.
right.
Once all that plumbing is in, they add the finishing touch.
Magic dust.
This part is so clever. It's such a great biological hack.
It really is. All they do is spread pure white sand all around the entrance of the new burrow.
Because in the wild, when an owl digs a new burrow, it churns up that white subsoil.
Yeah.
So to an owl flying overhead, this looks like fresh digging.
It's a giant neon vacancy sign. It triggers their instinct to check it out.
Once we finish, we put the white sand back up onto the side. Because we're working in parks, we want to leave it looking pretty. But here we're out in nature. We can leave this white dirt out. It'll help attract the owls to the site. So we put half a container of sand on each burrow, 25 pounds. And then we'll spread it around. And we come back tomorrow, the next day, day after, looking for black dirt kicked back onto the sand. We're also looking for owl prints. And of course, we're looking for the owls. That would be the best if we see the owls right here in front of the burrows or on the perch right here. So
Owl feathers?
owl feathers
Owl
is a
feathers
sure
are our
sign,
favorite.
yes.
If you find a malted owl feather in that white sand, you know you have a resident. You don't even need to see the bird. The feather is the proof of life. But now that we understand how they are saving these owls, the mechanics of the build, we really need to step back and understand why this is all happening right now.
Right. We need to zoom out from the hole in the ground and look at the farm itself.
Well, we've been here since 1959 and have always had cattle. Well, mid-90s, we started changing to sugarcane, and I prefer the cows, but economics made us have to change for me. And the cows, at some period of time, they're real high, like they are right now. The market's high, but they have quite a bit of lows, and at times you have a problem paying your bills. So I've decided, my dad never wanted to and wouldn't, but I'm getting older, and I can ride a tractor now and not a horse. So
He's doing what he has to do to save his family's land.
But he refuses to let the owls become collateral damage in that fight.
And saving them, that took some real innovative thinking from Kelly Heffernan. State rules usually say you have to keep burrows far apart.
To prevent fighting, yeah. But Kelly realized something crucial about this specific group of owls.
So when they figured out the rules, when they figure out state rules, they have to look at peer-referenced publications. So most of the distance and area requirements for the Florida burrowing owl are based off of studies for the western burrowing owl and sometimes for urban burrowing owls. So a lot of times we see owls that, especially in urban Florida, we see owls that might just be 10 feet apart or 20 feet apart or 40 feet apart.
and happy.
And happy. And Dr. Mealy will say, it's not about, they're not as territorial because those are their kids or their cousins or their sister. So it's just an extended family, so they don't mind being close together. It's like you letting your son be right there. You don't mind him, right? But if it was somebody else, you'd be like, no, that's not okay.
Well, that must be exactly what that is, because there's a mound over there that's been there for decades.
Right. So as they have successful young, a lot of times the adults, because they're much better
So
diggers, Dad will dig a new burrow for the young and stay on the original mound and help his young find territory.
Okay, well that's probably what's
and
happened.
That's probably how they've spread down here.
Yeah.
And who knows how they ended up here, but they saw a good spot, they found it. It's not far from home.
Yeah, there used to be two, and for some reason one moved away.
And it all comes back to who Steve Paige is at his core.
So they finished the job, they built this little high-tech owl condo complex. And as they're walking back through the fields, the story takes this turn that, for me, is the real heart of it all.
It is. They're walking past the few cattle Steve still has. Remember, he's getting out of the business.
Right, because the herd is being phased out. But it's not gone yet. There are still some cows just chewing cud, watching them walk by.
And some of these cows I know of two in here that's 17 years old.
Yep.
And that's an
Unusually
really not
old.
Economic to keep them that long.
Yes, yeah.
I'm getting old and I have soft heart, I guess, or something.
Well, the owls are thankful for that. For your soft heart, right?
Oh. Oh. What is it? Paul said it's going to make me head to heaven, or just think about it.
And Steve pointed out that he's keeping a few of them. Some are 17 years old.
Which, I mean, that makes absolutely no business sense. A 17-year-old cow is not an asset, it's a pensioner.
Precisely. It shows his soft heart. This whole story, it could have been another sad tale of development versus nature.
But it's not. It's about a farmer who refused to take the easy way out. He could have just plowed everything under and been done with it.
But he chose the harder path. The better path.
It's about stewardship, really. And I love what Steve said about his philosophy on all this. He summed it up perfectly.
When you have the chance to do that, I think you should go ahead. Try to help the environment. Sometimes it's not popular or not economic, Sometimes I think it's your duty to do it.
That really says it all. That is the definition of a true guardian.
He does it simply because he believes it is his duty.
It's that unlikely friendship again. The farmer, the biologist, and owl man Paul.
3 very different people. Steve with his tractor, Kelly with her biology degree, Paul with his PVC pipe, all brought together by a shared belief that we have a responsibility to the creatures living next door.
It really challenges that old narrative that agriculture and nature are always enemies. They can coexist, but it takes effort.
It takes engineering, it takes science.
And it takes a soft heart.
Indeed. It takes the willingness to look at a patch of dirt and see not just a commodity, but a home.
Pairs of artificial burrows in the ground today so that the owls have new habitat that they can move to. This is the sign that we're going to install so that whoever comes onto this property, they'll know that, hey, these are owls and they're a threatened species. So if you can hold that for me just 1 second, we're going to put it like right here in the middle. Make a little hole.
Did you hear a squeak?
All right, right there.
Did you hear a squeak?
Put this guy right in that hole. And boom, boom. And we are done. The owls have all right. Thank you, Susan.
Heed the warnings.
Heed the warnings.
So if this story has inspired you, if you want to know more about the Florida burrowing owl, or see the incredible work that Kelly and Owlman Paul are doing, you can check them out at Project Perch. That's projectperch.org.
They are doing incredible work, 1 bucket of white sand at a time. And they really do rely on support to buy those valve boxes and that PVC.
Absolutely. It's a great reminder that sometimes the most important infrastructure projects aren't highways or bridges. They're 6-inch pipes buried in a cow pasture by a guy who just wants to do the right thing.
And that is something we're thinking about.
And that's been another episode of Who's Listening? The Owl Next Door.